What's going on, guys? Jet Fan here. It's going to be his game in the Azuma. This game, we are up tiered against legendary battleships and legendary ships. A lot of times I hear people talk about how Tier 7 is completely outmatched by legendary tier. I've been guilty of saying it in the past. But I want to talk about Azuma here because I think Azuma has a place at that hybrid legendary Tier 7 role. The reason why I say that is because realistically, the only difference between, in my opinion, this and the Alaska is the reload time, and then HE is more effective on this, and AP is more effective on the Alaska. That, to me, is the big difference in why Alaska is a legendary, and this is Tier 7. So you're going to see here, this is mostly a game where I'm throwing HE, okay? We're basically going to play a defensive style role, which is what I think Azuma excels at and what Azuma does well. You're going to see we have an okay game here, even when we're up tiered. So again, I want to highlight that even when you're up tiered, you can still be effective, and you can still deal the damage you need to do and be a good team player. You know, you don't have to sit there and say, "Oh, well, whatever," just sail in aggressively and just get sunk, because you can still do some damage. You can still fight. You still have 52,000 HP. That is a pretty darn good chunk of hit points, you know, outside of your motto and some other, you know, etc. You can still angle up pretty well. You can still mitigate damage as much as you can. You still have 3 heals, right? You know, and you still have your sonar. So again, this is not a bad ship, in my opinion. I know a lot of people dislike it, and you know that's their opinion. And I know that a lot of people say, well, the reload's too slow, etc. I think that the main thing is that you just have to time your shots. You know, you just have to pick and choose your spot, pick and choose your shot. And the thing that I actually don't mind about it is that because the reload is long enough like that, where it's, you know, 20, almost 21 seconds, and this one it's like 20.9, so it's just 21 on the ticker there underneath the reticle. So by the time I shoot and that it's reloaded again, I'm going to go dark if I'm spotted. And obviously that being also as long as there's nobody within my 12.1 kilometer spotting range. So, you know, that also is something too, because that can teach you, it's a great ship that can teach you how to play that drop spot, you know, select your target, shoot your target, drop spot, let your opponent choose a different target, send a salvo, then you return fire after they've emptied their chambers. You know, it really does a good job of teaching that style of play, because you have to wait for that time frame before your guns are reloaded. So if you're looking to get into that, it's not a bad option. 12.1 kilometer detectability. Again, you can play like a different build if you want to try to spec it out for concealment. I don't. I think 12.1 is a solid number, especially when you start comparing it to like other Tier 7s. And the other Tier 7s don't have the same quote-unquote Alpha Strike HE firepower that this thing does, in my opinion. So again, I'm not a big complainer on Azuma. I mean, the fire chances that this thing has is pretty good. And typically, obviously here, not right now, but a lot of times when you're playing in this thing, you get a lot of good fire chances. And you get a lot of, basically good HE salvos that are going to do 3, 4, 5,000 damage. And, you know, there's a double fire there on the Alaska. So, again, and a single fire on, what was that, Ochakov maybe? Whatever the cruiser was that was off to my port side, Ochakov. So, again, we're looking for targets. We're doing what we can. The more I play this Azuma, the more I think that the right build for this ship is a Yamamoto build, and the reason why I think is because you need the range. It's even in the description of this ship, is that it's made to a cruiser that's made to fight at longer range. You know, and when I can engage it, you know, when I have the my legendary perk and it's basically active, it's like 19 kilometers, something absolutely ridiculous. So that's legendary battleship territory, you know. So again, I don't want to basically rip on people who don't like the ship, but personally, my play style, This isn't my ideal play style, right, with Azuma, but I think that um, you can adjust your playstyle a little bit, and you can really be a dangerous ship. So again, it's like 19.7 kilometers on the firing range. So you look at the map and you see what I can shoot at. It's insane. This is a tier 7 cruiser. This isn't a battleship, a legendary cruiser, or anything. It's tier 7. So again, I just want to highlight that the main difference between this and Alaska is about 4 seconds on the reload. So if you like Alaska, right? You should be able to get by in this Azuma is what I'm getting at. Now, obviously, I would love it if I could trade out the spotter plane or the fighter plane for a radar. I would absolutely do that in about 2 seconds. But fortunately, I think that's also another major change that makes this a tier 7 and that a legendary. Now, you can say what you want. Japanese doesn't have radar, they didn't have it in the real war, and so yeah, I get it. They only have sonar. So, I mean, would I like to see Azuma get a little bit more of a buff or whatever you want to call it? Of course I would. I don't mind this ship. I actually like it. I think this is actually a relatively enjoyable ship to play. So you're seeing there a lot of the Reds are pushing aggressively down our right flank if we're facing the enemy, left flank if you're looking straight on at the mini-map. So my strategy here is I'm just going to go after this Shima, and I'm going to try to angle as best I can against the Conqueror. Again, the rudder may not be a full agile style cruise or build, but the rudder is still responsive enough to where we can dodge some shells. I want that friendly Alaska. I'm trying to ask him to radar because I think we could actually take this guy down, and I think he's within radar range. So I keep asking I kept asking the Alaska to radar. Maybe his radar was on reload or whatever. I don't know. He's not in my division. I didn't have comms with him, so that is what it is. But ideally here, this is a good situation for us because as soon as he pops that radar, I'm going to be able to assist him and get some heavy hitting HE shells on the Shima. So I got a minute 30 till my sonar is reloaded, which again really probably won't do very much because this is open water fighting here. So you see there, again, Conqueror sends a salvo my way. I am anticipating it. I see torpedoes coming as well. So that slight turn out there did enough for me to avoid the shells and obviously angling up against torpedoes. I'm asking for intelligence data. I'm really asking this Alaska to throw this radar up. If we could spot this guy, we could take him out between the two of us, probably in one salvo, maybe two at the most. So Alaska, though, I do like to play here to a point, even if his radar isn't active or his sonar isn't charged if it's on cooldown. I like to play here. He's pushing, he's going to proxy spot him, and then our HE salvo ends up taking him out. That's a sinking. So we're up to 57,000 damage. We're in good shape. We knocked their destroyer out. And at this point, we're going to turn back, and I'm going to engage the flank that we spawned on here and that we've been fighting on for the most part this whole game. And then there's Alaska popping up. We're lining up the shot. Going to send another HE salvo his way. I remember I've posted a couple videos on Azuma in the past. And I had one where I talked specifically about the AP ability on this ship. And this game is basically going to be a majority, if not all, HE. And again, we're at 64,000 damage with HE. So this is not a ship to sleep on with the HE, is what I'm partially getting at here. So you have a 30% chance to set fire with this Yamamoto build. That's very good. That is very, very good. So you see there's another fire. We're up to 8 fires here. Conqueror sends an HE salvo our way. He lights us on fire. We're going to return the favor. Send an HE salvo his way. Maybe we get a fire, maybe we don't. We'll see. But he's throwing the hooks on, and he's slowing down, so those shells might lead a little too much. You see that we get 2 standard pens and 1 shatter. 72,000 damage. Again, he throws another salvo our way. This is dangerous because he switched to AP. And I was not expecting that, but you see there, we ricochet a good number of them. and we get 1 overpen. So you're seeing the armoring angling, or what you can do when you armor angle. And again, we're up 78,000 damage there, so got another good solid salvo. And we're not getting the fires that I was hoping for, which, isn't the best. At this point, I'm in a really bad spot. And to be fair, this Conqueror needs to get rid of me, right? I'm basically dead in the water if this Conqueror chooses me as a target. And I'm surprised because I'm the closest target. So he's choosing the broadside battleship, which I understand, that's not a bad play, but he's not shooting at me. And you're going to see what happens, because I'm going to contribute to a lot of these sinkings coming up here. Monarch is about to go down. And I basically realized as soon as Monarch goes down, I'm going to be the next target because I'm the only other ship on this flank. And so we set a fire there on the Bismarck. Bismarck takes a wicked salvo from the side. But again, we were able to set a fire on that Bismarck, and we were able to help contribute to basically, hopefully, what we're seeing is this Bismarck's demise. Another HE salvo going out. And we took another almost 5k, so he's down to darn near nothing. So that could have been a sinking there. It wasn't. Is what it is. Bismarck fireworks secondaries going off. Actually gets a fire on us. Then you see Yamato ends up getting the sinking. Alaska throws an HE salvo our way. Good thing it was HE. Could have been a kill shot if it was AP. We return the favor, send one his way, and we actually get the sinking there. So, that's a 10k salvo with HE. What more do you need to see, than that as a proof, or I should say as proof that, this thing is absolutely dangerous. So you see there we were able to mitigate some of the shots, opportunities there. We're down to 244 health, and then we're going to throw a salvo on our dying basically chance here. We get another fire. We get 11 fires, 102,000 damage, and the thing's ticking up there. I think he just hit the heel of the repair party. So that's where our damage total is going to stop, 102,000. End up with 2 sinkings. Could have been 3 on the Bismarck, but it is what it is. But my whole basically emphasis and point on this video, now that I've been sunk out, is that, number one, don't be afraid to get up and tangle as a heavy cruiser like this. Okay, this is basically a super cruiser territory. All right, and this ship can take shots. Okay, it can take shots from enemy battleships, and don't think that just because the reload's long, I don't have torpedoes. Obviously, I'm not saying you go up and you tangle at 3 kilometers, but I'm saying you can get within 10, 9 kilometers and fight. So a good job here by our friendly destroyer getting on the enemy base, and Roma's going to go back and protect ours. So right now, this is a win. There's no way we lose this game as long as this Roma doesn't get sunk, right? So Roma's darn near full health, and he's going to do the right play. So a great game by the enemy Conqueror, but again, if he would have taken me out, I wouldn't have been able to contribute to the shots on the Alaska. I wouldn't have been able to contribute to fires and the shots on the Bismarck, and that could have changed this game. So when you have chances to take out these fire starters, you have to take them out, okay? I'm going to have a game coming out. I might post another video later tonight. We'll see. It's either going to be tonight or later tomorrow, unless I get another good, better game I'd like to show you guys. But there's going to be one coming out relatively soon. Then the Duke of York, and I only shoot HE, and I don't spec for anything special. It's only HE. I wanted to see what it looked like with my standard build, and it's going to be a good number, and it's going to be some good play. So you're going to see that when you let these HE firing ships, these cruisers that are basically a super cruiser like an Azuma, hang around in a game, they're going to wreak havoc. They're going to do some serious damage. Almost did twice my HP and health. And a lot of that has to do with just picking the right target, playing as a team, engaging. So again, when you have shots on these cruisers, you got to take them. You got to get rid of them. Okay, otherwise they're going to linger. They're going to cause problems for your team. They're going to sink some ships, and they could end up changing the tide, because if you go back the other way, there's a good chance that they end up either winning this game or contributing to something that's a much closer outcome than what this is going to end up being here. So good job by the Roma, good job by the Khabarovsk to basically know how to win. Roma didn't throw his ship away. So there it is. It's going to be a win. Tier 7 up tiered into a legendary tier. We get 2,200 base XP. So again, the ship can survive. It is an okay ship. You just have to really focus and pay attention. If you like the video, guys, leave it a like. We will see you guys out on the high seas. Take care.